Okay, we're recording.
Oh, okay. I just gotta act like the camera in here.
Except make sure you look actually at the camera and not get distracted by that, because I've been doing that.
Oh, I will. My eyes go where they go. Cheers! Come on, drug season 2.
You're gonna be screaming.
I don't be screaming. I will.
Welcome to the Pit Stop.
The official recap show for season 2 of Underground's Drag Race.
With me, Ruby George.
And me, Ricky Morales.
How excited are you for season 2?
So excited. It is great to be in the audience and not up on that stage. It is so nice to roll out of bed at like 7:30 and still make it there for the show.
It was nice to be there in a comfortable shoe. It's so much less stress.
Good to not have to get in drag on Sunday.
Now we just get in drag on Mondays.
I think that's worse, actually.
Yeah. This episode started off with all of our competitors introducing themselves with their entrance looks.
Then we got into the main challenge, the talent show.
After the talent show, the judges made their critiques for the top and bottom 3.
Then a winner was chosen, and the bottom 2 was chosen, and they lip-synced for their life.
Shall we get into it?
We should get into it.
Whose entrances stood out to you, good or bad?
Shady Ho's. Shady Ho came out the BP oil spill. Sickening.
The presence she had was incredible. Super engaging. And then she flubbed the mic, which made me really upset. Ooh, you almost had me. Technical difficulties are going to be a dime a dozen this episode. We'll get into it. But she devoured.
Yeah, the presence was everything.
Tara had my favorite entrance line of all of them. I hope you like what you see, because I plan to stay.
Ooh, that's
It was
strong.
fierce.
I was just mesmerized by her look, but...
For a discussion on the look, you can check out the fashion photo review uploaded by CMN Kush.
Malacunt loved their presence, like loved the way they walked in and just handled it. Loved the swagger.
But the problem was they had it and then they tossed it away.
That is right.
It
Actually.
became kind of like cutesy in a way that I think gave away some power.
Agreed, especially with that look. It was so swaggery.
Yeah.
Should have kept up the swagger. Looky Lou. Can we get this over with? I gotta take a shit. Loved that.
He loves to be a disgusting man.
Yeah, it's greasy, it's cool, it's hot.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Marzipan.
The aura.
The aura, that look, just coming in with the spikes, barely had to say anything to me.
Marzipan's line was fucking hilarious. They said, all right, let's try this again.
Oh yeah, Marzipan unfortunately was our first out before it even started last season because of a injury.
Better luck this time. Sheena had my second favorite line. This race just got a whole lot spicier. Quintessential drag race. It was great.
I was a little disappointed with Vagina's entrance. Maybe it's just because I expect better of Vagina, because I love Vagina. It gave me the ick that Evie came out super strong, and then it was like, hand me the axe, and that was a machete. That was a machete.
I forgot about that.
That was a machete. And as a fellow Hispanic, she should know that that's a machete.
Do you get the reference?
No,
Okay, it's from Mommy Dearest.
never watched it.
Okay.
But then, after our entrances, we had a little break and then cut right into our talent show, which I know well as the week 1 talent show winner of season 1. So I was expecting big things, and people did not disappoint. Actually, one person disappointed, but we'll get to that.
Oh, and I know a lot about disappointing people in the talent show. I was on the chopping block for my talent, so thank you, Mars.
We started with Tara Bishop, and Tara's talent was...
Lip syncing. Tara came out dressed as a lifeguard. There was a kiddie pool and a blow-up sex doll, and Tara came out to a song that was themed about CPR.
Yes.
The very first thing that I wrote down in all caps was wig on. She had that thing glued on so fiercely and whipped it around without fear.
And she looked great. I thought her comedic timing was great.
There could have been a lot more going on with the actual pool. I feel like
Yeah.
she could have used the props more.
The ending could have been a bit stronger too.
Yep. Next was Celery. I had a full crash out over this. The track is anything you can do, I can do better. And she proceeds to do all of our talents from last year.
It was the Cele Variety show, and the easel had all of our names on it in the order in which we went.
She sewed Velcro onto my name, slapped my name onto the easel.
And then it went to Maddie Lamore. She handed Mary Jane a board and chopped it. brought out small little weights.
It was
I had
hilarious.
big weights.
She held a long note for Regina because Regina sang. She knocked off like 6 people because she was like lip sync, boring.
Her headpiece and the stage was her biggest op, like the curtains.
The entire time.
Yeah.
That's a note I had for a lot of performers. Running into the curtain, getting tripped up in the curtain, or bonking their head. I hope that will lessen as time goes on in the competition.
Loved the concept. Loved the concept. She executed it well. Next up was Maddie Valley, who did a burlesque number for us.
She came out looking drop dead gorgeous. Probably the best she's ever looked yet.
Well, yeah. Maddie Valley is a great dancer, and I think that showed well. Her commitment to choreographing her numbers and practicing clearly showed. Yes.
She used the entirety of the stage. It was fabulous.
You could see the technique.
It was very like lyrical. It was incredible. The only thing was her face. She was holding a lot of tension in her face and she was not emoting.
Yeah, there was a lot of
That was my
reveals,
issue.
and I think it was the reveals that were being focused on.
Yeah, and
Yes.
towards the end there was a reveal that just was not coming off. That was when I saw emotion. Was when I saw her starting to stress.
She probably could have just danced.
She could have gone from like 5 reveals to 2.
Yeah.
After Maddie was Evie Estetas, and she was singing.
Landslide, a beautiful song. Bold choice.
I really did appreciate her vocal quality. The problems for me were she was a little quiet. There was a lot of pausing and checking to see where she was. And
I've seen her perform before. She's a great performer. I don't think that this was her day at all. I'm gonna be honest, I think she should have just not sang. I didn't like the vocal quality and everything else you said. I do think that there's a way to sing and still captivate an audience even when you're not the best singer. I don't think that she did that.
Really?
It was the flop of the night. Yeah. That's
Tough.
just, yeah, it wasn't it for me.
Okay.
Sorry, Evie. Next up, we had Sheena Spice.
Sheena did a lip sync to a mix to introduce everyone to Sheena Spice.
There was cuts in between with like a monologue. I believe our narrator was Carrie
Carrie
Black.
Black.
I know that voice.
I love a jukebox type of mix. The branding, again, completely on point. Also, Sheena is a really good mover. All over the stage.
Yeah.
Plenty of different tricks, and I thought that there was a good progression of tricks.
No, she knew how to pace them.
The only issue for me was there was a lot of space. So things could have been like lightning fast for me.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the mix in the sense of like monologues in between. I just feel like it's like you were just looking for a way to make lip syncing more interesting.
Yeah.
But it didn't do it for me. The floor work was tea. The skirt reveal was perfect.
That's what I said! The skirt reveal
was perfect.
I will be stealing that, thank you.
It wasn't a flop, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
All right, next up was Marzipan, whose talent was hooping.
Hooping. I think this is some of the best hooping I've seen, especially in this stage. Like, you cannot do a lot in the underground stage, like height-wise.
So emotive. The engagement with the audience, it was incredible.
Hitting the beats, so good. It was mesmerizing. When they brought out the 2 hoops,
And I was like, damn, like that's so cool. I was like, I wish I smoked weed.
no notes other than.
No notes.
After that, we had Shady Ho.
It was a spoken word burlesque lip sync.
A masterclass in timing and holding space.
Oh my god, yes. Instantly captivating.
And it was so funny. So, like, this lip sync, she's like trying to sell this chair.
She's speaking literally about a chair, but figuratively about her pussy.
Yes.
She looked fantastic. She ended up going backstage to do costume change. It took a long time. I got lost because she left the stage for a long period of time.
I guess I see that it would be my only note.
Yeah, that's my only note. Next up was Regina George, who did stand-up comedy. She came out as a character who was like an interim sex ed teacher who's just like volunteering from the PTA.
She's a God-fearing woman.
She did plenty of crowd work. She did some safe sex demonstrations. She was constantly listening to what the audience was saying and what the judges were saying, and in real time responding to what they were saying and
Yes.
creating new jokes and bits. My only critique is that I did think it went a little long.
I could have heard her do an hour-long comedy special.
For you?
I completely disagree.
I am looking forward to a 2-hour-long Netflix special of just this.
Regina George is the comedy queen of Buffalo. And next up, we had Malikunt LaFool. And Malikunt gave us some
Burlesque.
burlesque,
It was very like vaudevillian. It was
Yeah.
very dark, romantic.
which I love that vibe.
Unfortunately, right off the bat, like shoes came off 30 seconds in. That is a tough place to come back from.
They like kicked it off. I think that was a good recovery. I just think a lot of things were seemingly not going how they were supposed to.
Things ended up getting in their way as they were trying to maneuver the stage. So that was kind of difficult too. There was a lot of like pulling back to get the hair out of the face. It kind of added to this frantic energy that did not seem intentional. So that was unfortunate.
It was.
What I did like was that they had extreme extremely good eye contact with the audience. And also, the acting was fantastic.
It started to like plateau towards the end a little bit for me. I wanted to like it more than I did because I could see that the energy was there, the charisma was there.
Oh yeah.
But it just felt a little all over the place. But I do think Buffalo loves Malakant.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Last but not least, we had Looky Lou, who sang, played guitar, and lip synced.
And a little burlesque reveal type of vibe.
He was doing a cowboy number. He sang an Orville Peck song about queer cowboys, and then lip synced to Dolly Parton.
He walked in with his guitar, ready to get up on the mic, and the music to the second portion of his number came on. But one thing I'll say, I think he handled that very well.
And he has a fantastic voice, played the guitar very well.
But it was the emoting that really did it. And he was in character. And
He took us somewhere.
Yes, and it was so sentimental. And I felt like it was like, it low-key got me sentimental in certain parts. I started feeling a little emotion, a little.
Once he was done with his singing portion, he ran kind of to me abruptly off stage to get ready for his lip syncing portion. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. And he proceeded to do some cowboy-esque.
Hard territory you get into that is like sometimes it starts feeling like you're doing reveals for doing a reveal, like for the sake of like adding in something, and I feel like the wig was that. I wish it just would have been executed better because then it would have really been as funny as it should have been and not have seemed messy.
And those were all of our performers.
Voila!
The judges decided that Maddie Valley, Sheena Spice, Looky Lou, and Vagina George were deemed safe.
And their top three were Marzipan, Celery, and Shady Ho.
Which left Evie Estetas, Malakant LaFool, and Tara Bishop as the bottom three. Do you agree with how the judges placed people?
For the most part, yes. To me, I don't know, I'm between Tara and Sheena for that bottom three spot. I really think it could have gone either way, especially if they were including entrance looks. I think Tara did better than Sheena.
I disagree, but I see why you feel that way.
And the winner of week 1 talent show is Marzipan!
Yeah!
Woo! Deserved. Marzipan just showed exactly who they were and why they are one of the best.
Congrats, Mars.
So who of our bottom three ended up being safe?
The judges decided that it would be up to Evie Estetas and Malakant LaFool to lip sync for their lives.
Meaning that Tara Bishop was safe.
Safe to slay another day.
I think that was the right choice.
100%. I agree. The lip sync song was Untouched by the Veronicas. I fucking love this song.
It is such a good song.
Yeah. It is a difficult song. Many words that go very fast. It's very easy to get tripped up. It's very easy to get lost. I did see some discrepancies.
They knew most of the chorus at least.
Yes, they did. I could see them almost like checking to see if the song was still going.
Yeah, it does feel like a long song. And they've known for a very long time that the week 1 lip sync was Untouched by the Veronicas.
Evie did a really good job of getting in front of the audience.
Yeah, she did a good job of commanding the stage, being in charge.
I kind of started to see like the confidence just disappear from Malakant.
And that makes me so sad because in my opinion, Malakant had the better performance, challenge-wise. I really wanted them to be strong.
I think that's what definitely led to Evie taking over. So at the end of the lip sync, the judges had determined that Evie Estetas was gonna stay and Malakant LaFool had to sashay away. And Malakant's exit line was, "I thought you said there was gonna be a break." For context, during deliberation, Mary Jane had announced that we were going to go through the critiques and then there would be a break and then the lip sync would happen. I do not know why. That is not what happened. They went through the critiques, they said who the bottom two was, and then they went straight into the lip sync. So Malakant was clearly thrown off. I completely sympathize with being told this is how a show is going to run, and that doesn't happen. However, as a professional, you need to be ready for anything that happens, even if that's a completely unfair expectation to have. Evie was ready.
Exactly. And they both had the same amount of no break, unfortunately. It's unfortunate, and I would be pissed too, because I'm the first guy to be a drama queen.
You would have flipped the table.
After.
You would have broken something backstage.
Exactly.
So, next week is drag groups. 9 people left, 3 teams of 3. Who's on whose team?
Marzipan chose Celery and Looky Lou. And Evie chose Shady Ho and Tara Bishop. So we have Maddie Valley, Sheena Spice, and Vegeta George as our third group. And the catch is that they have to record their own verses and make choreo for their performance.
Yes!
And that wraps up episode 1 of season 2 of Underground's Drag Race.
We'll see you next week right here on the Pit Stop.